What's up, girlies? So I thought I would make this video in the evening this time, just because, I don't know, I feel a lot more grounded at night rather than during the day. I don't know if it has something to do with the bright lights or the fact that my circadian rhythm is just out of whack and I tend to come alive at night. I'm very much a night owl during this era of my life. So I thought I would just make the use out of the energy that I have right now, because I literally feel like it's 12 p.m. Energy wise, that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm literally like bouncing off the walls. So I thought let's utilize this time efficiently and get some content out. So I had an idea. And I want to give you guys my top tips on how to not give a damn. How to not give an F. I want to swear, I really badly want to say the F word because it just has that oomph, but at some point I want to get monetized and I don't know if the F-bomb is going to stop that from happening. So I'm trying to be a bit more smart rather than just manically blurting out the F word every 2 sentences, which, look, I don't even notice when I swear, to be honest. Like, it's just a natural occurrence. It's just a part of my vocab, and I'm Australian. Like, I feel like that's just, like, we swear a lot and it's not even thought of as like a bad thing. Not in my world anyway. Like, but yes, I thought I'd give you guys some of my top tips on how to not care about really stupid things, because we want to care about the important things in life. There's a lot of things out there that we should be caring about: friends, family, our future, like worldly issues, you know, the list goes on. There's a lot of things out there that do deserve our attention and our energy and our time, but there's also a lot of things out there that are just irrelevant, things that we spend so much time internalizing and stressing over and thinking about over and over again, and it just drains us completely, and it's just the worst thing for your mental and emotional well-being. This is coming from experience, okay? And these are things that just, in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing. They're very irrelevant small things. I've suffered very badly with my anxiety in the past, and just with very overwhelming anxious thoughts. I think, like, just because of trauma that I've dealt with in the past. So I've had to really teach myself how to not give an F about things that just don't matter, because when you're an anxious person, like, it's hard when you have anxiety. Like, you really just be stuck on the tiniest little things that seem like the biggest things, you know what I mean? There is a massive part of me that is that person who is very confident in herself, who is strong, who doesn't care about what other people have to say or think about her. I think because I've really been through it, and after being through it for so long, I think I just reached a point where I'm like, I don't want to go through it anymore. I don't want to go through the self-inflicting pain of caring so much about what one irrelevant person thinks about me, their opinion about me. Oh my god, that is so embarrassing. This thing that happened to me yesterday, like, I can't believe I did that. Oh my god, I'm gonna carry that with me all day. Like, that is just like, because I've been through it so much, I now realize how much of a waste of time it is and how painful it is, and I just don't want to do that to myself anymore. And that's the thing. You have the choice to make that decision. You know, that's the power you have within you. And I'm still human. Like, I still have my moments where I'm like, oh, you know, but there are so many different ways that I've been able to overcome this. It's taken me a long time to get to where I'm at right now, but because of my commitment to myself, my healing journey, and wanting to do better, wanting to be better than yesterday, wanting to improve my health, my mental health, and just become this boss-ass version of myself, that is something that I'm dedicating myself to every single day. Because of my dedication to that journey, I have come so far in comparison to where I was, let's say 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's crazy. And I just want to give you guys some little tips that I've learned along my journey, and hopefully it can help you as well. So let's get into it. Okay, number one, there are a lot of things in life that we can't control, and oftentimes these are things that are outside of us, outside of our body, in our external reality, right? But then there's our internal world. Those are the things that can be controlled, like 90% of the time. Our emotions, our thoughts, our behaviors, all that stuff, that can be changed. We have the power to control that, and it's crazy because that's how you change your external world as well. Our external world is just a reflection of what's going on in here. And the thing is, we have the power in assigning value to literally everything. We decide what's important and what's not. That's literally a choice. You get to choose what to care about. You get to choose what you want to give your power away to. This applies to our thoughts, this applies to our emotions. We get to choose whether or not we want to give into that emotion. We want to internalize it or spiral into this emotion, right? And sometimes it can't be helped, and it's almost impossible to not do that unless you've had some kind of healing done or some kind of therapy, or you're aware of your internal world. If you don't have awareness, then it's almost impossible to detach yourself from your thoughts and your emotions, and you become them completely. So that's why doing the inner work is very important here. But I'm trying to help you with that awareness. When something embarrassing would happen to me, I'd literally sit there and I would internalize it for days, and I would just feel so much shame. I would go throughout my week or my day carrying around these very heavy thoughts and feelings, like I was carrying a massive bag of bricks on my back, and I just couldn't shake it off. You know deep down, like, this is so stupid. Why can't I shake it? You know, and you just feel so powerless. You really victimize yourself, you really do. And for what? Like some tiny little thing that probably, I can assure you, nobody else is really thinking about, and if they are, like, what would you do? And then I learned this really amazing thing of detaching yourself from your feelings, from your thoughts, and realizing, wait, like, if I can detach myself from these feelings I'm having and from these thoughts, that means I can also decide if it's important or not. So when I did feel embarrassed, from that point on, I was like, wait, I can decide right here, right now, if I want to actually feed into this feeling of embarrassment. And the thing is here, you still want to acknowledge the feeling of embarrassment, because I feel like it's not healthy if you don't. I feel like you're just suppressing it if you completely ignore it. You still want to acknowledge it. Hey sis, hey, how you going? But you don't want to let it become you, right? We don't want to internalize it and embody it, because once we actually cling onto that feeling and we start digging into it, that's when, you know, you just start spiraling and you start to really overthink, and you usually attach that moment or that feeling to everything in the past that's happened to you before that point, right? So we don't want to do that. Instead, just be like, yo, like, I acknowledge you. I acknowledge that you want to feel like this, and this is healthy to acknowledge it. Maybe I need to do some work around it. And, you know, it's a perfectly human response to want to feel like this, but I'm not going to cave in, because I've decided right here, right now, that I don't want to feel embarrassed. Okay, I have that power to just not do that, to not feel like that. So that's what I'm deciding right here, right now. Because think about it, choosing to actually want to fall into that emotion and feel it and spiral, that is also a decision. So literally just choose the other path. Choose to not feel that way, and you'll be surprised at how much that one decision, that one turning point in your thoughts can have such an impact. Trust me, game changer. Number 2, how big is this problem in the grand scheme of things? Is it going to impact your life on a very deep level? Is it going to impact the life of others around you on a very deep level? I'm sure you've heard that saying, you know, if it doesn't matter in 5 years, then it don't matter now. If it doesn't matter in 5 years, don't take more than 5 minutes thinking about it, stressing over it. For real though, like, if it's not going to affect your life at all, there's no reason for you to be sitting there and turning this thing over and over and over in your head, because really all you're doing is self-inflicting pain. That's literally all you're doing. And for what? When I find myself in those moments where I'm stressing about very small irrelevant things, I sit my ass down for a sec and I ground myself. And I say to myself, Sanam, let's think about all the other things that are going on in the world. Let's think about some real ass shit that people are going through. The ways that people are suffering. Look at your life right now and look at the many blessings that are around you. The things that people would do to have the life that you have right now, even though, you know, it might seem mundane, is crazy. Like, your life is literally someone else's dream life, and that is something that I'm constantly reminding myself of when I'm in that mentality of lack, when I'm stressing about something embarrassing that I said or something stupid that I did, or maybe, you know, I was talking to someone and I had like a bit of food stuck in my braces, or I had an eyelash coming off, or I'm stressing about what someone thinks about me. I feel ashamed for a sec. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why am I so concerned about these tiny little things when there's literally people out there you know, people are really suffering, war, poverty, famine, this horrible, horrible thing that's going on in the world. And you're living a beautiful life. You have a beautiful home, you have beautiful friends, family, you are achieving all your dreams. You could have been born into any family in any part of the world. You could have had a horrible life in some third world country, but yet this is the life you're blessed with, and you're worried about someone seeing you with a piece of food stuck in your teeth. Like, reality check. So it's very important to ground yourself and to just make a list of all the amazing things that are in your life currently, and also just think about what's going on in the world, like all the horrible things. I know that sounds negative, but you need to look at these things sometimes. You really need to just open your eyes. And for the longest time, I did not want to look at all the bad things that were happening, because it would just really put me in a negative space. Like, I just couldn't do it. But in those moments where I'm just being silly, it's very important to remind yourself, and it's a very humbling experience, and I think it just really grounds you, makes you a more genuine person, because you have all these stupid celebrities talking about irrelevant BS, or people that are just obsessed with the most irrelevant BS, and it's just like, girl, ugh. Like, who gives a damn about what the Kardashians are wearing at this fashion show when there's like real worldly issues that need our attention and our energy? Like, that is the stuff that we should be giving a damn about. That is the stuff that we should be stressing about, that we should be crying over. Not this superficial, surface level, toxic BS. Like, that is not what we need to be concerned or focused on, okay? Let's move on to chapter 3. I'm zen. Sometimes I just get really manic when I'm talking, and I just don't know why. I just be getting really flustered and passionate. Whew, and I be getting hated, girl. Like, for what? I don't know, maybe it's the ADHD in me, but let's just not do that right now, okay? Let's not. Chapter 3 is, okay, ask yourself why you actually give a damn in the first place. And this is going to be the foundation. I probably should have done this first, but I'm going to mention it now. Asking yourself why you give a damn, figuring it out, and then doing the work around that. Why you give a damn is going to probably lead you towards some kind of insecurity or some kind of wound or some kind of trauma. It's going to lead to the root of the issue. Don't know why Pinky does that all the time. And doing that inner work is going to be the internal foundation for this new and improved attitude of you not giving a damn. I had to ask myself the same question. I would constantly put so much value and importance on what other people thought about me, what they were saying about me. Did they like me? Did they think I was this? Did they think I was that? And the reason why I was doing that was because I was coming from low self-worth. I was very insecure. I had a lot of confidence issues. Okay, I did not think highly of myself. And I also just needed to be perfect, trying to deflect people from seeing how imperfect I was or how flawed, because I thought if people saw how flawed I was, they wouldn't accept me, they wouldn't love me because of my previous trauma. And so I cared so much because I needed to be perfect. I needed people to like me and love me, and I cared so much about what they thought about me. And So once I realized all that mess, I then realized, okay, I need to do work around this being perfect. I don't need to be perfect in order for people to love me and accept me. I don't need that from everyone. All I need is to love and accept myself and to just be myself, and then the right people will come. I don't need to be focused or worried about all of that BS. That's just messy. That's just a waste of time. That's just way too much energy. No one has time for that, especially not me. Worked through that stuff, and I started to put myself on a pedestal a lot more, and I stopped putting so much value on people's words and around their thoughts and feelings and whatever. That really released me, and that really helped me to detach from a lot of bullshit. So that's really honestly key. And regardless of what your issue is, it's going to require you doing work around yourself. You're building the relationship you have with yourself. You're nurturing your self-worth, your self-esteem, the bond that you have with you and you. No matter who is in your life, no matter how many people, the relationship that you have with yourself and yourself is going to be the most important thing ever, okay? The relationship that you have with your inner child, with the past versions of yourself, with who you are, like your shadow self, your higher self, like all the parts of you, that is what is most important. You need to love and nurture every single part of yourself, because if you don't have you, you're gonna crumble, and that's what will lead you to depending on other people for validation, for self-love, for hyping you up, for opinions, all that kind of stuff. So in that process of working on yourself and on your healing journey, you will start to respect and value the opinion that you have around yourself over the opinions that others have around you, if it makes sense. Number 4 is very much tying into my last point, and that is that you can't control what other people think about you. You can't control how they see you, what they're talking about when it comes to like what they're talking about with their little bitch friends, like what photos they're posting around of you, like all the little gossip, all the tea. Like everyone is going to talk shit about everyone at the end of the day. Like you're obviously going to be on someone's hot topic list because you're literally a bad bitch. Like when people are talking about me, or at least in my delusions when I think they're talking about me, I take it as a compliment, because obviously you're talking about me because I'm that bitch. I'm iconic, I'm fierce. Like, so if they are talking about you, you know, girl, like just put that on the ego boost list, seriously, because you are that girly, and the main characters, all that stuff is it's all based on an individual's personal experience, okay? Based off their own experience, their belief system, their perspective on the world, their past traumas, like insecurities, everything. This person's whole internal world, that is going to contribute to how this person perceives you, okay? Because it's like a filter, and this filter, or this lens, I should say, that they're looking through is a filter, right? It's filtered through all of these things that are going on. So you really have to just accept that. Even if it's a negative perspective, like that's their perspective and it's completely subjective. You can't control that, and trying so hard to control that is going to hurt you and it's going to consume you, because everyone is going to have some kind of story they make up about you in their head. And the thing is, no one is going to know you as well as you know yourself. They're really not. And that person's story of you is not going to be 100% accurate. In fact, it could be 50% accurate. It could be 20%. It could be 0%. They could have a complete different perception of you based off, I don't know, just one singular thing they heard about you, or one thing that you did that they didn't like, and it just completely changed their whole view on you. And maybe you had no idea about that. And that is not something you can control. It's out of your control. It's inevitable. And that's going to happen with everyone that you meet in life. Do you really think you can continue this facade of appearing as this perfect person and masking in this perfect way that's going to get their approval? Yes, I've got this person. Yes, I've got this person. This person likes me. That is just a never-ending, it's a never-ending journey. And it's a journey through hell. And I've lived that hell. Like masking always and thinking in my head, how can I appear in the best way possible to gain this person's admiration? How can I act in a certain way to get them to like me? Like what should I post? How should I dress? Like I need everyone to like me because I can't even like myself, you know? And again, that's why doing that internal work, right? Doing that healing work, that shadow work is going to help you a lot, because like I said, once you have yourself, you're not going to care about none of that stupid stuff. You don't care about if you're someone's cup of tea or not, because you are your own cup of tea. You love yourself, and most people hate themselves. Most people don't even like themselves, so I wouldn't even be worrying about if they like you or not, because they don't even like them. So obviously they're going to project their shitty shit onto you. So that's just how I see it. Really, all you have to aim towards doing is nothing but being your absolute self, period. Because when you're yourself, you attract the right people towards you. I've learned over the years to just be myself, no matter how silly or crazy or weird or cringy or whatever the hell way that comes across. I know that the people that are right for me are going to somehow come into my experience, and it's going to be the most effortless thing. Like I'm not even going to have to try, because they just like me for me, you know what I mean? And that's why I feel so sorry for all these girls that are they're trying to be someone they're not, and they're falling into this patriarchal standard of what beauty is. They're falling into that trap of what they think they should be in order to get a man, in order to be attractive, in order to be lovable. Changing the whole appearance, their personality, just to get a man. Like, that man is not going to stay with you because he's not aligned with who you are authentically. Like, you're not even yourself. He is falling for someone that's not even you. So how do you expect him to stay with you? How do you expect that to be a healthy relationship? Okay, number 5. Now this one will be my last one for the night, and this is a little bit of a personal one. But I feel like when I'm looking back at previous versions of myself, previous chapters of my life, I find myself feeling a lot of cringe and embarrassment, because every version of myself in the past is like completely different to who I am now, and each version of myself has acted in a way or said things that I myself cannot relate to. Like, I would never say these things, I would never act in that way, I would never do things that way, and I guess I just feel, I'm like, ugh. And I feel like that is a normal response to have. I don't know, maybe it's something that I need to go to therapy for. It can be a very overwhelming thing, carrying around these very heavy emotions and thoughts from things that happened in the past, things that aren't even existing right now. Because think about it, the past is non-existent. The only place that the past can exist is inside your head. It's literally like, it's an image that your brain creates. Yes, it did happen. It's real in the sense of it was real, but it's no longer real in the sense of it's not here right now in your physical reality in any time or place. Like, it's just here. I could go on a whole tangent about that, but I'm just gonna try and stop my ass from going on a tangent, and let's just keep it to the topic of the video. But what I'm trying to say is, it was just not a good way to live life. Like, being so consumed by stuff that isn't even existing, you know, like, it's just delusional, honestly. So I came to the conclusion that I need to just love every single part of myself. And this is very true. This is a lot of truth, because again, it's a choice. Remember what I said in the first half of this video. Every single thing is a choice. We get to choose what we get to care about. We get to choose what views we have on what. Like, that is literally, like, that's a choice. We have that freedom, right? And so I decided I'm actually just going to choose to love the past versions of myself rather than hate on me, because the more that you hate on yourself, those past versions of yourself, the more that's doing nothing. It's literally doing nothing except for inflicting emotional pain, and also you're jeopardizing the relationship that you have with yourself right now. In order to love yourself now, you need to love every single version of yourself, okay? So you need to love all the embarrassing things, all the cringy things. Like, you don't need to love them to death, but I think I just came to this point where I was like, yo, like, little Sanam, she did what she did with the knowledge that she had. Like, she did the best that she could do. She did what she had to do to survive, basically. Like, me sitting here right now, like, I am doing what I do, saying what I say, thinking the way that I think, based off the experiences that I've had, and based off the knowledge that I do have, and whatever, based off the tools at my disposal. And the past versions of myself are all doing the exact same thing, so there's literally no point stressing about that. Okay, y'all, it is 11:14 and I'm gonna hit the hay. I actually hate the screensaver, it's so ugly, but what I've started to do is I've got a whiteboard and I've started to write down everything that I need to do, and then I'll take a photo of it, because I have ADHD and because I have this thing called object impermanence, I think it is, which means, like, unless something is right in front of me, I'm going to forget it. And because I'm literally always on my phone, I know I hate it, but because I'm always on my phone, and that might not even be like scrolling on like social media, I might actually be doing important things. Regardless, I'm always on my phone, and I'm always gonna open my phone, and what is the first thing I see is my screensaver. So I took a photo of my whiteboard so that whenever I need to actually do something or remind myself to do something, it's literally right there. But then I realized I could make it more aesthetically pleasing by just typing it on my notes, because I can't even read that. Like, I wrote that and I can't even read that. Why am I like this? I don't know, but it's a smart idea though, right? Like, I actually have a big brain sometimes. Hey guys, I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.